Think spatially. Michael, what does this mean for you as a planner?
Yes, for me as a spatial planner, the spatial dimension is crucial for all of my work. So it is about the integration of different spatial demands and the coordination of future action. But how is it for you as a sustainability scientist?
It is nearly the same. Within the sustainability science, I am particularly interested in spatial gender issues. Here, access via gender can help us to understand space as a relational category, as a product and a process in which societal relations, for example gender relations, can be read.
Oh, you addressed some major points from our joint article, Sustainability Transitions and the Spatial Interface. There we explain how space is a relational context, an axis of physical as well as socio-cultural aspects.
And if we keep thinking that, how can spatially bound perspectives help us to bring sustainability down to earth?
So first of all, we have to clarify what we mean by using the term transitions. We think of transitions to sustainability. That means it is a normative, socio-ecological approach for a more sustainable future. But how does space come into this concept?
For sustainability transitions, space must be understandable, interpretable, and designable, considering existing formal and informal plannings, as well as places and scales, and further claims for spatial use by different actors.
Exactly. So, in a first step, we have to understand the spatiality of transitions and then to develop visions of how they ought to be, and then find it and to achieve goals.
Right. These three steps can be found in the distinction between three forms of knowledge we know from sustainability science: system knowledge, target knowledge, and transformative knowledge.
Okay, so start with the first one. System knowledge can be described as an analytical knowledge of socio-ecological systems. These systems can't be understood by only one perspective, meaning one discipline looking at it, but it must be analyzed in an interdisciplinary way and interdisciplinary research. So space can be a bridging concept, meaning to combine all different disciplinary approaches to get to joint knowledge about the system in itself. So, but nevertheless, it's not only about a scientific exercise, but it's also about transdisciplinary approach. That means that even the actors out there have to be included in the whole process. So I wonder, perhaps it's worth going out and having a look at reality and how transitions really take place and to get them down to earth.
To understand and evaluate public spaces like this, we need landscape architects as well as urban planners, mobility as experts, and last but not least, all the different users of the space. They all have target knowledge in their minds. Target knowledge functions as a visionary knowledge of spatiality in function, form, and process. Thus, this knowledge dimension recognizes the normativity of space and asks for transparent visions of spatial transformation on both the substantial and the procedural level. We can speak on space as a normative concept, trying to provide solutions related to how a transition towards sustainability should look like in different spatial arrangements. This becomes clear with regard to mobility. There are targets for CO2 reduction. In Hanover, the goal of a car-free city center is being pursued. In reality, we see that different and contradictory visions are common. This ends up in space-specific negotiations.
Yes, all right. So we have these two different forms of knowledge. We have system knowledge and we have target knowledge. But the big question is now how to get from system knowledge to target knowledge So this is about the third knowledge perspective, which is transformative knowledge. And it addresses, as an action-based knowledge, the producing of space and places. In this way, we assume that sustainability transitions can arise in spatially related actions of different actors. So in terms of mobility transitions, we see now we do have the target of CO2 reduction. But what does that mean for a place like this? How to reduce CO2 emissions? So in detail, it is then on the ground. It is about finding parking slots for sharing initiatives, for car sharing initiatives. It's about bringing these transitions down to the ground and initiate a process to implement these transitions. So here we focus on space as an approach to action, where active collaboration among diverse stakeholders take place. But we know that these different perspectives do not start from a common ground. So we do have a lot of conflicts and need a process of participation for that.
Think spatially, not only about the spatial embeddedness of transition, but with regard to the three forms of knowledge. System knowledge, about spatial products. Target knowledge, about spatial visions. And transformation knowledge, about spatial processes. Putting it in a nutshell, this enables politicians, decision makers, and forward thinkers to translate general global issues to find space-based solutions for their regions, their cities, and their neighborhoods. Thank you.